We're going to go ahead and do the cylinder now in pen and ink. Even though I did hatching with the cube, I'm going to go ahead and show you hatching with the cylinder. But I'm going to do contour hatching. So instead of straight lines going in the same direction, they will be curved lines that would match the form of the object. So what you're going to do is, it would be like if all of your lines were the same, they followed the same angle and curve as the top and your bottom ellipse. So on the edges, and like I said, I'm going to try to use the same value that's over here, so where the light source would be, and make sure my pen's working. So these are curved lines. I'm starting with them spread out because I can always come back in and make them a little bit darker. And so I can come back and make some shorter lines so it gets darker as it gets further away. So on this side, I'm going to do the same, follow the same angle. Once again, starting with lines that are a little bit more spread out. Then I can come back in and add some that are a little bit shorter. And on the edge, I come back and add some more that are a little bit shorter. Not filling in all of the spaces. It might end up a little bit darker than I really kind of want it. But once I do that, and I'm still keeping it at that same curve along the edge. And then if I want, I can still come back and add a few longer ones if I want it to be a little bit lighter as we get a little bit further away. Still going in that curve. You want to make sure you're not curving up, because if you curve up with it, it'll make it look like there's a dent in the can, and you don't want that. So on the top is flat, so I might do hatching marks. This time it's still kind of a light-ish value, it's not really dark. I can maybe do some random hatching so you guys can kind of see that on here. But it's just lines slightly spread out. It'll also kind of create a different texture, so if you want it to be nice and smooth, you might want to do the other type of hatching that I showed you on the cube. But from farther away, it'll look like a value instead of just looking like little lines. So on the cast shadow as well, I'll go ahead and do cross hatching on the cast shadow just so you see a different technique. So I might start with the hatching lines. And I can come back in and I cross over where I want it to be a little bit darker. So you can start to see how it gets darker closer to the object. So here, it would have helped if I had drawn around it with a pencil, so then I would have known exactly where I wanted the lines, because remember with pen you can't erase them at that point, so you got to work with what you've got. And there are your objects.